Hey, okay, so in the last video that I did for the Legend of Zelda TV series, I mentioned Zelda's hair, her hair color. So I went back and I checked and I fell down such a rabbit hole. And that's why I'm doing this video. Because here's the thing, okay, the fan base fixates on Link's hair. Like they go back and they're the fact that the younger generation will actually watch the TV series and they're like, his hair is not supposed to be dark brown, and it's like that's what it was when I was a kid. Look at the very first game. You know that there were games before Ocarina of Time. The game's 35 years old. Oh, good heavens. And then the whole pink hair. Do not attack pink hair Link. Okay, but I have actually seen people where they have like this whole paragraph, like this whole thesis talking about how it's not really pink. And like, you're so fixated on blonde Link that all other colored hair is forbidden. Like it's not. His hair is pink. don't do that to me. That's not gonna work. Not gonna work. So what I find interesting is that you fixate so much on Link's hair that you don't look at Zelda's hair, because her hair has transformed quite a bit over the years. And I also found something very interesting when I went down this rabbit hole. And I have some theories. And again, theories, as if the Zelda fandom needs any more of those. So when you look at Zelda in the first game, let's look at her. There she is. And so actually she should be behind a black background. If you remember, if any of you have ever played the original, and of course there's at the end where they have Piece of the Triforce, and I still haven't gotten through. Ganon's dungeon is so big. Why does he need such a huge dungeon? I don't know. And I keep running into those shrieking ghosts. They piss me off. Can't get through it. Because then I gotta find the guy. Because what they do is these shrieking ghosts will shriek and it breaks the shield that I have, and then I gotta go find the guy, buy a new one, and everything. And I'm sure you people, somebody's gonna say you're doing it wrong. I'm pretty sure I am. Well, anyway, so it's her dress is red, and so her hair is light brown, and of course it's on a black background. And now I also looked for concept art. Now I really like the concept art for the first two games and even for the TV series. I mean, it's got like that grungy look, the grungy, gritty look. Uh, think of if you've ever seen Flight of Dragons. I've talked about that movie, and the Lord of the Rings animated movie, and those movies actually. There's The Hobbit and Return of the King, and anyway, so there was a period of time where they had this real grungy, gritty animation, two-dimensional animation. I actually really like it, and I wish it would come back. I wish two-dimensional animation would just come back anyway. And but that's another video for another time. So when you look at the concept art for Legend of Zelda, there's a lot of green and yellow and orange and red. And so the reason that I bring that up is because when you see Zelda, there's like, she doesn't show up a lot because this is mainly about Link and his quest. You see the old woman and she's like giving him potions and everything. Of course, that's one of the iconic scenes, you know, where he goes in and buys potions from her. And but there were comic books, there were I think there was manga uh back in the 80s for Legend of Zelda. I would not be surprised. I know that there's like a set of manga now. I want it. And I'm sure that there have been several different sets of Legend of Zelda and for every game and everything, but I would not be surprised if there was a manga for um, Legend of Zelda at the time. So, um, but Zelda didn't show up a lot, but when she did, she had brownish red hair. And so I was able to find concept art for the TV series. And you see Link and Zelda and Pixie, or Sprite. Yeah, that's her name, Sprite. And I am so glad that they didn't go with this look for Zelda, first of all. But she has red hair. Yeah, I'm really glad that they didn't go with this look for Zelda because it looks too much like Princess Peach. And it just it doesn't fit. And nope, not at all. I mean, and if you remember when I talked about marketing Legend of Zelda with Mario, this kind of ties in with it, trying to make Zelda like Princess Peach. It just doesn't work. So I'm glad that they didn't. Yeah, I'm really glad that they didn't. But and on one of the covers, comic book covers, you see the look that she had in the TV series. And I would like to think that was more of a concept art for the but you always see her with like the brownish red hair. Even in the second game, I when I mentioned that in the uh video, she has the red outfit and then her hair is like the darker tone. So why did they make her blonde in the TV series? I have nothing against it, but when you see her in all of the media and everything, you know, like the merchandise, is the word I want to use, and all the merchandise and everything with reddish brown hair, why would you do this little switcheroo and make her blonde? It's just, it's confusing to me that you would do that. And but here's, well, first of all, before I get ahead of myself, because one thing that I found was like this page from a comic, and she is, it's the obvious opening for Zelda II. She obviously has like flaming red hair. It's like Princess Ariel hair. So so Nintendo obviously wanted her to have like the brownish red hair, but something happened and they changed her hair color. So for some unknown reason. And but let's continue to go down this rabbit hole, because after the TV series, there was Link's Awakening. Now, Zelda didn't show up in this one. However, you had Marin. I believe that's how you say her name. And she's a redhead. And Link interacts with her and everything. And it's been so long since I've actually played the game, but it doesn't seem like there was that much of a romantic anything, you know, like there was that much of a love interest or a flirtatious anything. It was just she rescued him. And so, and she helped him. You know, I just, I'll have to look at that again. And of course, you can tell me in the comment section, because it's been a while. So when Zelda returned in Link to the Past, her hair is brown. The TV series, she was blonde. Now she has brown. It's like brownish red again. And now in the Oracle games, the 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 palette is, it's muddled, because the shadow effect kind of bleeds a little bit. And so it makes it very hard to figure. I had to look back and see what color her hair was, and the shadowing on hair, unless it's what are their names, like Din and the other gal who have the red and blue hair, or I think she has a like aquamarine hair or something. It doesn't really have much shadowing. Their hair doesn't really have a lot of shadowing or anything. But anyway, but when it comes to Zelda, it's hard to tell if it's like a blondish brown. So there's like, and but these are the games before Ocarina of Time. So the Oracle games come, we have like a brownish blonde effect. Now she had been brown hair, and before that she wasn't even in the game. It was somebody else completely. And now we have Ocarina of Time. This is the point where look, I love playing the games, I mean, this particular game, but I truly feel like it's overrated. And here's why, because it seems like whenever fans are asked questions about certain things concerning the games, they immediately latch on to Ocarina of Time. It's like their answer for everything is Ocarina of Time. There are other games. Okay. Is that the only game you play? I mean, I don't, but I get it. I mean, it's the first 3D Zelda game, but there are other games. And but when Ocarina of Time showed up, that's pretty much when Blonde Zelda became a done deal, because then she kept showing up as a blonde. I actually had to look and see when other uh, games were released, and of course, Ocarina of Time was 1998, and then you had um, like the Minish Cap came out in 2004, Wind Waker 2002. Well, even Oracle of Seasons and Ages was 2001. I thought it was before that. And Majora's Mask is 2000. And I mean, when you just keep going down the list of all these games, and she's like, so Ocarina of Time was basically, she's blonde and that's how it is. Okay. But here's the interesting thing. We have another character that Link interacts with, and she's kind of flirtatious, and not Princess Ruto, because she's aggressively flirtatious, okay? No, not her, although I do like Princess Ruto. But no, not her. Uh, Malin from Lon Lon Ranch. She's a redhead. And I have to ask, what is this whole thing about Link and redheads? The only time that that does not happen is in Twilight Princess. You have Ilia, who I thought was such a bland character. I just, quite honestly, she didn't even, okay, here's how I feel about Ilia. I believe that's what her name was, the one that got kidnapped or whatever, and who was supposed to be Link's love interest in that, in Twilight Princess. She seemed so detached from the other kids. And quite honestly, before she uh, was under that spell and didn't even recognize Link, she seemed detached from him too. She just liked to slap him around. like, like what? I mean, I remember when I had the setup out there and I was playing on the DS. I think at one point I said the only reason she liked him was because because of his horse. I mean, he was the only one in town, in the village, who had a horse. And so, I mean, that seemed to be, and so yeah, she would hang out with him because of Epona. And I really didn't like the character. The other characters I didn't mind. I liked, yeah, like I said, the others were fine, you know. And they seemed like typical little kids. But her, it was just, I don't know. I had a problem with. And she just, yeah. But anyway, now that I've said what I needed to about her. So this, so what does this whole redhead character thing have to do with Zelda? Okay, so here's my theory. When 35 years ago, when the game first was released, I truly believe that Nintendo had this idea that Link and Zelda were going to be a couple. And when they released the TV series, it was every week tune in, the whole because as a little kid, I don't even know where to go with this. It's in here, but it doesn't want to come out. Because like when you watch the series, it just feels like he's constantly rejected by Zelda. So, but that's kind of how you're roped into seeing the series, is the next episode going to when she's finally going to accept him and they're going to start dating. I hope that makes sense. Made sense in my head. And so I think Nintendo really wanted Link and Zelda to be a couple. And I don't know, somehow they just wanted Link to, this hero, to be with a redhead. Because when it, I guess like the fans just weren't, they were more interested with him being her protector than actually them being a couple. Look, the the timeline has split up so much. It seems like another game is released and it splits even more into like several different. I'm done trying to figure out what exactly is going. I heard at one point that Link and Zelda are related somehow. I don't know. I don't know how that's possible, but whatever. And but the thing is that all of a sudden, when after the TV series, which was kind of pushing the idea, keep tuning in. I'm sure that they're going to start dating, and because Link was pushing it, you know, and she kept rejecting. But you know what? That's how teenagers are. You know, one of them so desperately wants to date, and the other one will reject it, and will keep uh, stringing them along, stringing them along. How many teenagers? I saw it all the time when I was in high school, and so I'm sure Nintendo was like, just keep him going with this idea that she at one point is going to trap him with her as and but no, we didn't get that. There just weren't enough viewers, you know? People were more interested in playing the game. And so but then we had Link's Awakening, this character, which we never saw again. She never showed up again. We had Marin in Link's Awakening, which again I'll look it up and say in the because it really, I don't remember if she was like if there was any kind of flirtatious anything. It just seemed like she helped him on his quest to actually get off the island. And and then after that, Ocarina of Time, Zelda, and he is the protector. They were basically solidifying everything with Ocarina of Time. You know, he's going to protect the princess. He's like the um, the knight and everything. But then there's another redhead, and she's kind of flirtatious with him. And so, but we never see her again either. But we, in Breath of the Wild, the song that she plays is played at every stable. So I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, I have a theory that originally uh they wanted Zelda as a redhead, and they wanted Zelda and Link as a couple. It didn't, it wasn't accepted. Uh, I don't see why it wouldn't be, but I don't know. Something happened, and they uh they continued to try to make her a redhead, and it just it just, I don't know, maybe there was uh people liked her better in the TV series when she was a blonde, and that's why they went with the blonde color. I don't know. And but anyway, so because it just seems weird to me, they make Zelda a blonde, but there always seems to be a redhead somewhere. And I mean, I could say something about the Gerudo, but all the Gerudos are redheads. It's that particular. And yeah, because I had to look again, and they're all of them are. Of course, the one in Ocarina of Time, she, and I can't remember her name, but off the top of my head, the one that hires Link to get the gauntlet for her, and but she's a little flirtatious with Link as well, and so, but so, but it just, I find it interesting that redheads and Link, something something there. Or maybe I'm just overthinking. Could be. But it's what I do. Anyway, so I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I mean, do you think I'm I bet you do. I bet you think I'm out of my mind after this. But how come nobody ever thought to look at Zelda's hair? I mean, everyone's going all crazy with um, Link's hair color. Don't go after pink hair Link. We all love pink hair Link. He's adorable. And but what do you think? I mean, do you think that Nintendo intended to have Zelda and Link as a couple, something happened and they drop redheaded characters in, and Link is just now is just Zelda's official knight. Like pretty much what they were saying in Breath of the Wild, that that's his official title and everything. Go ahead, tell me your thoughts.